G'day all you clutchers and chokers and welcome to Cammers. This tipping video is going to be a little bit more refined than the previous because I've got a little bit more time to work with. Plus that, and I've actually kind of set things up a little bit better, so it'll be a lot more workable. I've watched most of these games. I didn't watch the Essendon and North one because I was at work. The rest of them I watched at least a little bit, even though I think I turned one of them off pretty much halfway through. You know which one. It's fun. Anyways, let's just immediately get through to the normal tips of previous round, and then we'll go through and actually do this round. Starting last week's round off with Thursday, it's the Suns and the Cats. And I'm very happy with this result because, well, the Suns are finally really getting their stride. The only thing is they're still only good at home, and I want to see them do really well outside of home. But they are very good at, well, technically everyone's like, oh, TI is not at home. It is at home. And they are really good in Darwin. So I'll just say it's their home. It really is. Like, there's no way it is not. They may as well just move over there and just say that they're from Darwin because that's how good they are there. Anyways, Geelong just kept getting pierced really badly. Like, their defense was nothing and their midfield was okay, but they weren't really able to do much. Their forward line, as usual, was pretty good. They just needed to be able to get that ball actually through to their 50 line, and then when they did, they would have been able to really have that ball more on their terms. But because of that, they kind of screwed themselves in the end. So Geelong really got smashed. That's the Thursday game over. Now it's the Friday game between the Swans and Carlton. I really expected Carlton to do a little bit better, to be honest, but what can you do? I just feel like they were relying a little bit too much on their usual good players. Was Cripps playing? Because if Cripps was playing, I actually didn't see him as much as I would have liked. But no, Swans, class act. Very class act. I was only able to watch about half this game because I was at work a little bit, but I still watched at least most of it. And, oh boy, there was some really, really odd calls in this game, huh? But, well, Sydney Swans got the job done. Very cool, I respect. Then after that, kicking off the Saturday bonanza, Collingwood and Crows. Oh man, Crows got robbed. Crows got robbed again. That happens all the time. Look, as much as everyone will really say Crows got robbed, I don't think they really did. I think that call was fair. I just feel like they need to be more consistent with the call because we've had other players that go further than that and no call. We need to be able to stamp out inconsistency, but it's the umpires. They're not going to stamp out inconsistency. So long as the AFL exists, the umpires will be inconsistent. Let's just get that out of the way, and we will all just bicker about it later on until the cows come home. That's fine. However, I really do like how Collingwood were able to kind of clinch that game back. They almost lost it. They almost lost it fully, but what I think Collingwood are really good at, especially the Dacos brothers, they're very good at being able to bring the game back from a seemingly unwinnable scenario. Anyway, they're really good at it, and I like seeing that. Like, not against us though, but that's where they don't need to do that against us because we're not good against Collingwood. But that's okay. Anyways, very well done to Collingwood. Good fight, good fight. The next game on the Saturday ticket is the GWS Giants and the Bulldogs, and I really expected the Giants to do way better than they did. They weren't really there. They were really not able to convert anything. Their forward line wasn't there. Their midfield and defense was okay, but they needed a lot more forward line. They need a lot more pushing and being able to get those goals out, but they really just relied on, I think, two people the entire game, especially one of them, Toby Green as always. But I don't know, Bulldogs are really wishy-washy, and they did okay as well. I actually feel like they didn't play as good a game as they really could have. They really could have won by a lot more had they were able to really, really break the defense line of the Giants. They just really weren't able to do that, and that's going to be a worry later. But they did not too badly, and they made me get my tip wrong. So, I'll give them credit. Don't like it, I'll give them credit. The penultimate game for the Saturday is going to be the Saints. Well, was the Saints. And was Freo. Well, I mean, I had a good feeling that Freo would be able to come to this game. They still need to work on their forward line again. It's really going to kill them later. But they did be able to eke out just because of how good they are defensively. They are very, very well defensively. The Saints are also good defensively, but their forward line is somehow currently worse than Freo's. So that really doesn't help. And Saints really need to wake up if they even want to ever have a sniff at finals. They need to wake up now. While Freo actually have pretty good chances, and a lot of people probably just wrote them off, and I'm not one of those people. I think Freo are actually not too bad. They just really need to get their goal kicking proper, and they need to be able to get that ball moving a lot better. Then the final game of the Saturday, a complete blowout between the Lions and Richmond. We all saw this coming, I think. We all saw that Lions were just going to go ape on Richmond, and they just went f***ing mental. They just did not want to win. They just didn't want to even come close to winning. So they just blew them out of the water. Don't even speak, don't even slightly talk about the margin. I know. I have PTSD just looking at it. I know. Shut up. Go away. Leave me alone. Go away from me. I have nothing else to say. Richmond are just nothing right now. They're worse than North, to be honest. They just straight up are. They are not able to do anything. They looked asleep. They were not there at all. What a shame. The final three on the Sunday. First up, Essendon and North Melbourne. Yeah, look, I think Essendon could have really had more points on the table if they really tried to be able to get those goals that they kind of missed. But that's fine. They still did really well. North are nothing right now. But they're a little, well, they're not really nothing. They did actually not too bad. They started off pretty well, but then just kind of slumped. They really let Essendon take over that third quarter, but they weren't too bad until then. But then after that, they just really couldn't get a grip, really push the ball into their terms more. They just weren't able to do that. That's something they're going to have to work on still. This is just still an issue, but I see potential improvements, unlike Richmond. So that's all right to see. They're doing all right. They just need to wake up a little bit more. And I still don't get how Essendon still have only like 103 percentage. How are they second? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in my brain. My feeble mind. The second last game of the round is Port and Hawks. We shouldn't have won that game at all. I'll take it, but we should not have friggin' won. There is no way under the 11th sun we clinched that with like less than a minute to go with 2 goals left. There is no way. But only us. Only us and Collingwood, I think, can pull that type of stint out. I don't know, man. That was a really fun game to watch after halftime. Before halftime, it was just VFL Central with all the free kicks. Let's not go there. I just don't get it. They weren't paying nothing for us, paying everything for Hawks. Even the 2 of the ones that I really thought was stupid. That was not holding the ball. What are you talking about? But Scholl and Hardwick were doing really well, really good things for Hawks, and I'm liking how they're doing well. Not against us, but I mean, I like it other than that. We'll see what they do this one, but yeah. I mean, classic Butters, waking up whenever he needs to. Horn Francis was playing the entire game, class act. Finlayson was doing nothing, he was doing actually genuinely 0. Georgiadis was doing less than 0, he actually was hurting us, I think. Should have subbed him out like full on and just put him away on the side. Go back on the spice calf. An underrated fella in that game is Houston. Houston was doing really, really well. Career best goals, even though he's not really a goal kicker. I mean, even though he really is. A lot of people say he isn't, he really is. Good credit to the boys. You did well being able to clinch the game, but we need to see a full game effort like we did almost in Geelong. We need to see more of that, less of that type. Then the final game of the round between Melbourne and West Coast. I really actually didn't see this, but I think the only people that didn't see this coming is anyone that isn't a Melbourne supporter. A lot of Melbourne supporters I spoke to kind of went, yeah, I kind of feel like we were going to lose that one. And I'm like, really? Full credit to West Coast. They were doing extremely well. They were really able to put scores on the table really quickly once they get it to their 50, and Melbourne weren't really able to get it close to the goals enough to do anything. They were doing things that they were not able to get the actual goals that they really needed, and West Coast were able to get them on a dime. Like, just flick the coin, job done. Harley Reid is a class act. Like, this fella's going to be a premiership player, 100%. If he keeps it up like this, premiership player easily. Genuinely one of the best players we've seen in quite some time. A lot of people were saying, no, he's not going to be that good. He is that good right now. He is just him at the moment. He's insane. And full credit to Waterman too. He was unbelievable. His goals have been unbelievable this one. He was doing extremely well, and I'm really glad to see him do well as well. It's good to see West Coast doing alright. They're waking up. They're no longer the worst at all. They're not even close to that. They're actually doing alright. Frankly, I think they should be around 10th with how they're playing. Probably even higher if they do even better later. So I'd like to see them do a little bit more. Whereas I think Melbourne need to stop relying on Petrarca. Oliver's not doing a lot, is he, at the moment? Ah well, not bad. Good job, West Coast. Clap, clap. Very well done. Well, there you go. I got 7 out of 9. I got all of them, except I tipped the Giants and I tipped Melbourne. What can you do? I got the probably easy ones wrong. Whoopsie. Well, West Coast and Melbourne would have been a hard one to tip. But, I mean, I feel like I should have gotten the 6. We shouldn't have won that game, but it's fine. The round's over. Next tipping. All right, round 11 time. We're going to have some fun, aren't we? Woohoo! Coming up for the first game on the Thursday will be the Swans and the Bulldogs. I'm just going to make this quick and say Swans are going to win by about 28. I feel like the Swans are really, really good right now, and I really like to see them play. They are unbelievable right now. They're the clear best, and everyone thought it was going to be the Giants or Geelong. Nah. Swans are doing amazingly right now. Don't worry about their game against Richmond. That didn't matter. That was nothing. That was a small blip on the road. Whereas Bulldogs, they did really well against a pretty meh GWS, but let's not speak of that. They're a new side at the moment, but I just don't know. I don't know about them. We need to see a little more to see if it's truly going to be sticking around a little bit longer. Because despite Bulldogs kind of waking up a little bit, I really don't know how they're going to go with this one. Against the ladder leader, I really don't have hope. It is in Marvel, so that has it for them. But I remember Swans doing alright in Marvel, so I'm really just torn. I'm still going to say Sydney Swans get this by a pretty comfortable margin. Up next for the Friday game is between Collingwood and Freo. Whew, this is going to be a little bit difficult to say because this is an Optus. And well, Freo do really well at Optus usually, unless it's West Coast. I mean, West Coast do well at Optus anyways, so that's there. Collingwood, unsure. Collingwood are doing alright, but they almost lost a game at home against Crows, even though they actually have close games with them quite often. I'm going to be tipping Freo this one, but I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm actually going to say Freo by literally 2. I think it's going to be another close game, but this one I think Collingwood will not be able to clinch. They might. I reckon there's every full chance for them to be able to do this. I'm just going to tip upset for this one. I think it isn't really. I think these two are actually not too bad, pretty close to each other. I just think Collingwood has had the better form, but I have just an inkling that Freo could be able to do this. It's either Freo just clinch it or they get blown out, and I want to have at least some faith in Freo. Although I have probably more faith in Collingwood at the moment, I'm just going to go on a gut feeling. Then for the Saturday game, we got the Pair, and then we got the North. And I'm really worried about this game for some strange reason. I really shouldn't be. It is in Blundstone, but even with that, I feel like we've been pulling the wool over North, as most other teams currently are. But, oh man, I've got a weird taste in my mouth that this is not going to go as well as the other games, because North are slightly getting better, slightly. And we are getting a little worse. If we don't have Rosie, if we don't have the usual good ball movement that we tend to and the good pressure, then we're going to be really screwed. I actually think we could lose this. I'm still going to tip us by a lot, 45 or so, but I wouldn't be shocked if we lose this and I will be getting my pitchforks and start crying. I'm just going, Viva la, get Hinkley out, that type of thing. I'm just really, really worried. But I'm just going to try and have a little confidence in us like I haven't been doing lately. So let's give it a spin and see what we do. Let's try. Next up on the Saturday is the Suns and Carlton. I really, really want to see the Suns win this. And so, you know, I'm going to tip them by like 6. I'll tip them by a goal. I really want to see them win. I think Carlton are in a bit of a slump at the moment. They could get better easily and quickly, but I really want to see the Suns do good outside of TIO and people first. I need to see it. If you don't, you're not going to get to the finals with that at all. You need to do better away, like straight up. You need to win them away games and do some good things. And I think with their list, they really can. With what we've seen, they can do this. They just need to really give themselves a push. They should have a good confidence from last game at least. So that should really push them to do really good this game. I want to see it. I want to see them do this. Freaking do it, man. For us, bruh. The penultimate game for the Saturday will be against the Cats and the Giants. Ha! This is going to be a real interesting game, isn't it? I reckon it is going to be anyways. And you know what? I'm going to tip the Giants by 12. And I want to see what you guys say. I'm going to do a little margin comp for it, against the Geelong and against the Giants. I want to see. Put in the comments below on who you think are going to win and what margin. The one that's the closest will get a special say hi from yours truly. And I'll say, you done good, kid, you done good. But yeah, I think the Giants are just better form-wise. And I remember them doing well in GMHBA, which I'm extremely jealous about. So I actually feel like if we can beat them at home, why can't the Giants? Why cannot the Giants? They can. They just need more forward line, more defense-ish, and they're good. And they will be able to beat Geelong quite alright, because Geelong are currently kind of wailing about, flipping about, and just trying to kick the ball. Who knows if they're going for the goal or not, but that's okay. I'll let it slide for now. So I'm just going to go hope for the Giants to do well. Haha. The final game on the Saturday is Richmond and Essendon. Yeah, Richmond is not going to go even close to this. This should be Essendon quite alright. It is the dream time, and that tends to be kind of unpredictable. But no. Richmond are just so bad right now. I'm not. You can't force me to tip them. I will tip West Coast and North way before Richmond right now. They are the clear worst in the entire league right now. They are definitely the worst. So I'm going to be doing Essendon by 54. I think they can really put the sword, and they're going to need this as an extra boost. If they drop this one, then how the heck were they ever second to begin with? I don't get it, but it's whatever. Okay, final three on the Sunday. Let's go. It's first one, between the Lions and the Hawks. I'm actually going to tip the Hawks this one. I wasn't going to, but now I'm going to. If they did not get us like they did and pretty much win that game that we really should have won, I wouldn't tip them. Isn't this at the G or Marvel? I think it's a Marvel. If it's a Marvel, I'm definitely going to tip them. Tipping them by 4. I think they can really crack Brisbane kind of alright. Yes, Brisbane did really well at the Gabba, but that was against Richmond. I don't know. Hawks are a way better side than Richmond, and even though they're kind of close to them on the ladder, right now Hawks are doing well stuff. I want to see Hawks win. They're going to do it. Gonna do it, man. Second last game, it's between Melbourne and St Kilda. Melbourne's gonna win. Clears easy. I think that Saints really need to get a bit of a reality check, because I feel like they're still kind of really topsy-turvy. They have no forward line. They have a bit of a defense, but no forward line. Melbourne do need to kind of sort out theirs as well, but I think they will be able to really figure out what they're doing with this game. I think they'll be able to kind of put them directly to the sword and just kind of slice them through the middle. Let's see what they do. Melbourne by 22. Let's go for that one. And then there's the final game between the Eagles and the Crom. I'm going to tip the Eagles. I'm going to tip the Eagles. I saw some really good game stuff from them. Even though it was at Optus, it's at home. Again, I want to see them travel well. So I'm going to be tipping, yeah, it's a few upsets here, but why not? I'm going to be a bit risky this one. I just don't know about the Crom. They're really, they know how to choke a game sometimes. And despite this being at the Oval, I feel like West Coast could really punish their bad defense of Crom. They just need to be able to have a good defense against Crom's offense, because they're really good, especially Rankin, oh boy. But I genuinely want to see West Coast do well in this. I'm going to go them by 8 points. 8. Just a little over a goal. But it's another one of those where they could just win or they could get smashed. But I'm going to go the just win this one. I know there's some close games. I know I'm doing pretty risky ones. But look, I don't like Crom. I don't want them to win. Come on. Come on. What? Well, there you go. That's the tips. Reminder to tell me who you think will win by Geelong and GWS. I might tell you, I might shout you out if you do. If you do well, whoever gets the closest will get a say hi to ho and a shout out from yours truly. And clearly, there is no better honour. So, I would do it if I were you. What have you got to lose? It's fun. It's fun. Anyways, that's all the video I've got. That's it. I've got nothing else. I'm running out of hard drive space. Now, click the button. Click a button. It's either red or white. Again, red or white button. I think it starts with an S. I won't tell you because I think it's an obvious one. Also, click the thumb button. Click the thumbs up button, because then you'll feel like that between the end. Well, that's all. Get out of my house.